Hey, Tyler.
Hey, what's up, man?
How many boinks do you have on your ticky? How many kicks do you have on your Jimmy tube?
On my Jimmy tube.
How many clockers
do
you have on your Gramus?
18.
I just want to make sure you know this is not a conversation. This is content. And the second that those uppers stop flowing in, you're going to be flowing out.
I don't know what any of the words that came out of your mouth actually mean.
What do you want? You don't know the newest socials.
Clearly not. That's why.
What do you want to be friends on MySpace? You want to be my fan?
I would like to. I want to poke more people.
Come on, Gramps.
Every platform should have a poke function.
I forgot that was the thing. Can you still do that?
I don't know.
Hey,
how else am I?
If you're watching on Facebook,
introverted?
Poke us right now. Poke us.
How else a shy, introverted person such as ourselves? How are we gonna talk to the people we want to talk to without poking them first?
That. How am I supposed to respond to a poke or like a nudge? A few things have like something like that where it's like a little like, hi. I'm watching
I hate on Discord. I did it by accident once. When you first add a friend, it's like wave to your new friend and sends them like a weird yeah. I did that. It was like someone that I was gonna talk business with, and they added me, and I accidentally clicked wave. It's just, hey, let's talk business.
God. No thanks.
Just give us a wave, give us a poke, give us a nudge, and let's sit down and listen to the podcast.
Woo, baby! Hello, everybody!
Welcome back to the Off Angle Podcast, where two best friends take a look at movies and all that life has to offer from a slightly different perspective. I'm Tyler.
I'm Tony.
And we're back. We're always back. We don't really go anywhere. We're just here. We're still here. We just sit here and wait until the next time to record.
Yes, we're like Nicolas Cage watching you from the corner where, that cringe memory you have from 8th grade that you don't want to think about.
It's always there.
You reached out for that girl's hand and she brushed you away like it was, and you pretended it was an accident. That moment you kind of lose sleep over and you kind of qualify, all of your relationships about, and you can never have like a trust of whether someone actually wants your physical contact. So you always have to kind of layer those feelings and emotions with like irony and other stuff to protect yourself as a shield, and so it affects the rest of your life and you never feel true love. We're like that.
We're also a movie podcast. We talk about movies.
True.
I'm actually excited for this week because almost all of my everything I want to talk about, all the topics for discussion, actually do center around movies for the first time since we started the podcast. The first half might actually be mostly movie centric. So that's kind of cool.
I feel like last time we were pretty movie.
That's true. It does happen.
Yeah. But
like almost everything I actually wanted that I'm bringing to the table, literally, is movie related or movie adjacent. Almost. But I did want to start by saying I took the dive. I took it upon myself, just by myself. In IMAX, I saw Madam Web, baby. I went to the Webiverse and I watched Madam Web. In IMAX. They
used an IMAX screen for that garbage.
I wasn't paying enough attention to see how much they actually utilize, the extra IMAXery. But I saw it in IMAX in a not even half filled theater, but enough people. And then obviously, I don't got to repeat everybody else, but it's terrible. It's not a good movie, but I still encourage everyone to see it because it is hilarious. Mm-hmm. It is a genuinely great
good bad
time. Yes, thankfully. It's so bad that it's good. It's as if like people that hate superhero movies, it's like what they imagine all these corny superhero movies are, where they just spit completely cliche, stupid dialogue. Nobody can act because they're just superheroes. Yep. Like, it's so good. And none of the plots make sense.
Were the people in your theater of a similar mindset, or were they actually just like there for a nice popcorn time?
It's hard to gauge. I mean, people were laughing throughout. I feel like people knew because I didn't see it like the
laughing
day it
at
came out or
unintentional
anything.
funny moments.
Yes,
That's good.
people were laughing how absurd it was. I feel like I saw it, a week or two after it came out. I feel like by that point, people were aware of what they're getting into.
I am just waiting every day for them to come out with something. Be like, psych! It was all a joke. Like, it was all play. It just literally, there's been so many things, of course, that are bad, but like this one just feels like, how could they not know? How could you release, Across the Spider-Verse?
Right.
And then this, like a month later or whatever, a couple months later.
Yeah, and they stripped it of anything that would be slightly connecting to anything else in the world. They
have like many not Spider-Mans and not villain. Yeah.
It's just bad, and it's not even really a superhero movie. It's just someone that just experiences deja vu a lot, gets things done, I guess. Also, the main villain, I think every line of dialogue he speaks is ADR'd in, and you can tell, and it's really bad. And also the lines themselves are very bad. It's great. It's like genuinely
so she doesn't
hilarious.
Have webs?
No.
Why is she Madam Web?
That's what.
Spoiler.
Because.
Is it because it was in Amazon with my mom?
Yeah. Her mom got bit by there's a spider. There's these spider people, and it's great. Because the whole thing is her mom died during childbirth, giving birth to her in the jungles. They found out that she was they could tell she had some sort of like birth. She was going to have birth problems. I can't remember what it was, but she's going to have some sort of issues. And so her mom was looking into these spiders that their venom, something could like heal her, essentially, make her better, make her okay.
Her mom was looking for this stuff?
Yeah, she's like a researcher and something.
So literally Morbius.
So like there's this big moment where she like is like going back through her mom's memories or something and comes to the conclusion that like, she was doing this to save her. She wasn't researching these spiders as she's about to have a baby because she's just so focused on her work. Right. It was actually because she wanted to save her child. Right. And so she's just like, the spider venom did have healing properties. Like, you did it, Mom. And it's like this emotional moment, and she like hugs her. It's like, oh my God.
Hugs
her mom. Well, like the memory of her mom, they do hug. It's like, I can't even explain it in ways that make sense, but it's just great.
I never knew I was sick. The spider venom did have healing properties.
It's like a fan fiction of a superhero movie. It's like what a 5-year-old would have written.
I got bored in your explanation of the plot.
I can't explain it in an entertaining way,
what I
but
thought
it's
of
hilarious.
While you were explaining, I thought of a different cold open I could have done. It goes like this.
Okay.
Ribbit.
Yeah?
Ribbit.
Hey, hello, frog man.
It's leap day, baby. Today is leap day.
That's
I realize
true.
today is leap day.
It is. It's February 29th, and we're recording this.
Frogcast.
Yeah. Well, just all ribbits and croaks.
Frog
have a couple
movies.
croaks, and there's some toads. They're
Frog
adjacent.
Movies. Princess and the Frog. Frog.
That's the only one.
There's frogs.
Oh wait, in one of the Shrek movies, he gets turned into a frog.
Little Mermaid, there's
King gets
frogs.
turned into a frog.
Right?
Little Mermaid, there's probably frogs. Yeah. Yeah.
Just saying.
All the best frog movies. Yeah, I forgot it is Leap Day, February 29th.
This is a one-time every 4 years podcast.
Crazy. We could have filmed on any other day. We managed to do it on Leap Day. That's awesome.
Yep.
But yeah, legitimately, just go watch Madam Web. Like, it's a terrible movie. I give it like a 3 out of 10 maybe, but it was I was not bored at all. It was genuinely
The only thing I know about the movie is that the thing that became a meme isn't even in the movie, right?
Right. It was just from a
trailer. They
trailer.
don't even say it.
Mm-hmm.
They say it in the trailer, but they don't say it in the movie, which I fucking hate when they do that.
Yep. Because they didn't have room for it with all the other crazy content they have. And I also watched another movie called Divinity, which I don't know if you keep up with the corridor stuff, the VFX artist react. They talked about it a little bit, which is what made me want to watch it. But I didn't realize that like one of the main characters is played by Moisés Arias, or however you say his last name, from Hannah Montana, who plays Rico, right? Is his name? That like the short kid that runs the beach thing. He's like one of the main characters, which is very weird. You see him naked, not like, dong out or nothing. But I was like, wow, where has he been? And now he's in this very weird, very stylized, strange movie. Okay. I don't even know if I would recommend it, but it's cool. I wouldn't say the average moviegoer should watch it because it's very stylized and weird and slow, and it's also black and white, so it's got a lot of things that most people probably wouldn't like, but...
It's got a 5.3 on IMDb.
Yeah, it was all right, but
what's the part that was so good or whatever?
Oh, it's because it eventually gets to the point where like comes down to him, his character going against like the big bad, the evil of the movie, and there's gonna be a fight scene, and it kind of cuts, but like the main fight scene is done in stop motion. When none of the rest of the movie's in stop motion.
What kind of stop motion? Like they're still using human actors?
No, it's like a little doll of him that kind of looks like him, and then I don't know if the thing's made of clay or what, but yeah, so it doesn't stop motion because otherwise it would look silly or have to use VFX and look bad. But like if he gets punched and there's like a reaction shot, it'll cut to the live action of him like and then it gets back into like the stop motion. So it was very interesting, very cool, and like I said, that's the only time they pull out the stop motion. But the practical effects up until that are also really good. I mean, there's a lot to love in it, but it's definitely hard to digest. I believe a 5.3 sounds about right, but it's got some things that are worth mentioning.
Hell yeah!
But I was like personally offended. My sisters, and at least one of the boyfriends anyway, sisters were watching. They decided to watch Ex Machina.
Okay,
and I'm like, sick.
Oh no,
I didn't want to watch it with them. They were already in the middle of it, and they started using Letterboxd, and they followed me, so I keep up with what they're watching. And I feel like usually Emily's opinions line up with mine. Marissa's don't. Marissa doesn't like a lot of the types of things that I do, but Emily does. But this time it was swapped. But they were a little tipsy, so I will say that. Okay. But Emily gave it a 4 out of 10. Gave Ex Machina a 4 out of 10. Marissa gave it a 7, so I mean that's fine. But 4 out of 10. Like I understand if you don't love the movie, but I don't think there's. What would you? Because below 5, you like dislike the movie. I guess I don't get it, but it's a kind of not satisfying ending. Yeah.
Because it's one of those movies where the person that you're following gets fucked, gets screwed.
Right.
The person you care about through the whole movie. It's like something that's very controversial, and it's hard for people to wrap their heads around. It's like whatever, the game that I haven't played, Last of Us 2.
Right.
Where it's like you know of the controversy, why people have hated that, because you play as somebody who you hate you get it, and I think it's kind of like that, or it's like if you are maturely minded in the space and you can like let go of your biases, you can appreciate it for what it is. But if you're not, which is understandable because whatever, then it's like
some people just want a happy ending.
Yeah, or like at least something that's deserved, which our main character didn't really.
But still a 4.
Yeah. 4 is for stretching it, because there's, at least on a basic level, all the camera work and the presentation.
Because I realized I wasn't watching. I was in a different room, but I could hear the soundtrack coming through the walls, and I could just from the soundtrack, I could tell what scene they were watching. Because I'm just like. The score for that movie is so good.
I remember a memory. I think I told you about this. I was in college in whatever year, some years ago. I was in class, and I heard the soundtrack through the wall, like so quiet, and I was like, "They're watching Ex Machina over there. They're watching it in class. I'm in the wrong class, man."
That's what I'm saying.
So I could recognize. Yeah,
because there's very few movies that I could recognize that vivid. Maybe like one song from it I might recognize, but like I was like, oh nope, that's when this happens. Oh, that's this. Oh, they're at the finale now. Like I could tell, and it's not like it's like super like musical. It's just like these deep tones, and like it's very mechanical. Like but you can just tell.
I mean, I think he's just good with that. I mean, I haven't seen Men, but another movie that I would say is like that is Annihilation.
Yeah, especially that final.
When you're, it's like
that. I still only seen that movie once, but like that song, whatever, stuck with me just from the first time seeing it. I was like, whoa, this is interesting.
Yeah, that still gets used in like memes and stuff all the time.
Yeah. I'll hear that.
Nice.
So yeah, Ex Machina and Annihilation. Definitely watch both of those. They are both very good movies. If you're into like sci-fi or AI or basically just sci-fi. If you really like sci-fi, those are some of the best sci-fi movies out there.
Speaking of Alex Garland, I think I read that after Civil War, he's doing another war movie after that's unrelated.
Okay.
Which is interesting. Because my understanding for Civil War, he like collaborated with like some military dude a little bit, like to get some military stuff right. Okay. And I guess he gelled so well that he's co-directing a whole nother war movie with the guy. Maybe he gave him some idea or something and got excited by it.
Okay. I mean, I'll be there. I'll be seated. I'll be watching.
Just interesting.
Yeah. Honestly, I've tried to avoid most of the Civil War stuff because like I know I'm going to watch it.
Yeah.
But are they both... I mean, obviously you probably don't know much about the new one, but are they both completely nonfiction or are they fictional?
I don't know. We don't know anything about the new one.
Right.
Other than it's a war movie.
Yeah.
I would guess it's more fiction based.
Mm-hmm. Is Civil War nonfiction?
Yeah. No, it's fiction.
Okay.
But I mean, I guess it could be like a World War II movie or something, but I just feel like that would be weird. I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
Who knows?
All right.
We'll see.
Okay.
I still need to watch Men. Have you seen Men?
I haven't seen Men either.
But from what I heard, that one is a little weird.
Yeah, I know people are mixed on that one.
Mixed. So action isn't exactly sci-fi. Of course, what I want from him is more sci-fi. Give me more sci-fi. Put it in my veins, Mr. Garland. But I think action is at least closer to sci-fi. War movie is closer to sci-fi than freaky horror movie about men.
Yeah. Because that's how I felt about Christopher Nolan. Because like I always respect him as a director. Like all the movies I've seen from him have always impressed me.
Yeah.
From a director standpoint, from the cinematography, et cetera, et cetera. But like Dunkirk and even in some ways Oppenheimer, like it's just not my kind of movie. Like I completely understand the praise and why people enjoy it so much. Like I will not argue that, but it's not really my thing. And I mean, he did have Tenet in the middle there, which, you know, I still don't know how I feel about Tenet. But
talk about Tenet.
Obviously some of my favorite movies are some of his other stuff, such as The Dark Knight and The Prestige and things that are more fiction than nonfiction.
I feel like we could talk about Tenet for 4 hours.
Yeah, probably.
Not really get anything useful out of it.
Right.
But we need to capitalize. I feel like the most popular thing on YouTube right now is still super long form bullshit. We need to do like an 8-hour podcast.
Yeah, we could do bonus
dive
episodes of just deep dives into things like that.
Into something.
Yeah. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
And actually come like well researched on it, and you know we've seen it more than once.
Yes.
And, yeah.
And we deep dive into the actors theories. And the directors and the theories and the
Get in there. Get in there.
And then it'll be just like one of those 4-hour videos, except with way less work. Because, yeah. And it could still be a podcast, but you market it like it's one of those videos.
Right.
Understand?
Yeah.
People see a 6-hour runtime.
If we throw in more clips, it'll seem like a video essay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Tenet and the incomprehensible movement of time. You know, one of those weird titles.
Yeah. You're thinking of the Birdman title.
Oh, yeah, true. I just watched that recently.
I just watched that recently, too.
There you
like
go.
A week ago. Again, I had already seen it.
I hadn't seen it before.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's really good.
We definitely, from the way it's shot, is awesome, obviously.
God, it's a big oneer the whole time, basically. Almost.
Yeah. I do want to know how many, because obviously there are cuts, but they're just hidden really well.
Yeah.
I want to know how many scenes total there are in that movie. Because some of them are definitely like, this is just a really long ass scene. It's only if they go past a wall or something. But anyway, yeah.
Birdman. Emma Stone. She's good.
She's good.
Where'd she come from?
Just in general, she's great.
I feel like she used to just be like she's just a random actress, but now she's like...
She's more B-list, now she's more A-list,
now I'm good.
feel.
Not just A-list, but like good.
Yeah, like she was an actress forever, but now she's like constantly being... Or maybe I just didn't notice as much, because even as far back as like La La Land and things like that, she was nominated for Best Actress.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like she came out of nowhere. It's like looking back, it's like, what the... Why?
Right.
Why? She's been here. She's been...
Since I saw Easy A, I knew she was destined for greatness.
Yeah, she's doing some freaky stuff back then. We don't talk about it.
But jumping off of like Tenet and time related stuff, I've seen this thing on TikTok where people need you. Because I need you. Obviously, you're the only one I'm going to choose. You are going to be my time loop buddy.
Okay.
Where if either of us finds ourselves in a time loop, because the first like 3 loops of the time loop movies is they gotta try to convince somebody I'm in a freaking time loop.
Yeah.
Is that if we are in a time loop and I come to you and I say, hey, I'm in a time loop, you just gotta believe me.
Yeah.
And vice versa. Like no questions asked. Like, all right, how are we getting you out of this time loop?
I would still probably just want something small.
Well, yeah, I'd
but like you and me are smart enough to be able to do that. That's the first thing you would do. Well, I guess it doesn't matter what the first thing you do is. It could be the 500 thing you do, but just learn one thing that you shouldn't know.
Exactly.
Don't realize halfway through the movie, wait, I could just tell them something that I shouldn't know.
By the second day, you should be able to convince somebody.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I come to you and I'm like, bro, I'm in a time loop. You got to help me. You're like, all right.
And then what?
Let's do that.
What am I going to do though?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it depends on the conditions. You got to help me figure out how I get out of the loop. But I'm just saying, I don't need to waste 3 of my loops trying to convince you, of all people, that I'm in a time loop. Okay.
There needs to be a time loop movie that doesn't end with them getting out of the time loop.
Okay.
I think there's been 5 movies now where it's literally just Groundhog Day, but like with a twist. Small twist on it.
Basically.
I want it to be like, okay, this person is stuck in a loop for 600 billion years. Like, what does that do to a person, number one?
Right.
And then, like, what if over the course of, like, millions of years, stuff starts getting different, but, like, slowly. Stuff starts becoming different. Stuff starts getting a little freaky, a little weird, and it becomes, like, horror or something.
Right. It's like time on, like, an existential level is still moving.
Yeah.
But, like, time
Things
outside of this bubble is still progressing, but... It's like taking energy to create this loop constantly.
Yeah, I don't even know what you would do, but I'm just saying, like, give me something different. Give me some interesting bullshit.
Right.
And then just maybe have the person kind of somehow disconnect from time and die, and that's the ending. They don't get out and like, hey, it's the next day. Wow, I have a better understanding of life now. No, give me the true ending. Give me the real
like
stuff.
Everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Imagine.
Okay.
That would be cool.
Yeah. Well, let's make it.
Yeah.
That's all.
You could make a movie about that, short film.
Yeah, a proof of concept that'll be picked up.
Wouldn't even be that hard. 1-2 locations because it's a time loop, baby.
Exactly. We love bottle movies.
Yep. What if it's not only a time loop, it's a room loop? If you leave the room, it also resets the time. Person trying to figure out what they're supposed to do in this fucking room because they think that there's something that they're supposed to have to do to get out, So, like, search everyone in the room, they tear everything up, they look everywhere, and they also, like, think about, like, psychologically all the stuff that they could have supposed to be done or if they did something wrong in relation to this room, but then they realize that it's nothing, and it's just like, nope, it just happened. It's just a weird glitch, and that's how where they live, and that's where they are, and they... Yeah.
I'm eating it up. And
then it becomes like a long dream, the Junji Ito thing. That's what I want in a time loop movie.
Okay. Yeah, I'm surprised that nobody's done that, or at least not a notable movie I've heard of, because I feel like I try to look up most of the time loop movies because I like the concept, just like with found footage. I'll always eat them up.
Because there's, of course, there's of course, Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
There's Palm Springs. There's a new one on Amazon that I haven't called. It's called like the something World of Perfect Things, something. Which apparently it seems like it's just the same thing. So it's younger kids.
Okay.
Same thing. There's another movie that I saw. I can't remember what it's called, but it's a movie where there's some guys and they all get stuck in the time loop, and one guy starts killing everybody. But then the time loop suddenly ends, and he killed a bunch of people again. I
feel like that rings a bell. I might have seen that too, but yeah.
But anyway, it's always the same shit. It's been like there's probably been 1 or 2 more that I can't think of.
There's definitely room for improvement, room for more to be done with, other than just it's a slightly different way that they get out of it.
Exactly. Also, just while I have the energy right now, fuck you.
Oh.
Fuck
no.
you.
Me?
Yeah, fuck you.
Why?
Here's me, okay?
Here's him.
I'm chilling.
He's chilling.
Like a week ago or something. Just chilling. I'm like, I'm going to watch a movie, but I want to watch something random because, I have a list of things I want to watch. But I'm going to watch something random right now, not on my list. Just something that's probably not great, but I'm just going to watch it.
Yeah.
Go through Amazon. What's this random trash-ass movie? I'm gonna watch it. It's called Radius. I watch it. Why have you seen that already?
I don't even remember. I know I've seen it, but I couldn't tell you anything about it or when I watched it.
The movie is called Radius. It's on Amazon Prime. It's about a guy. He gets in a car accident, and now any living thing within 50 feet of him dies instantly. That means like plants, I think, maybe. I don't think they show plants, but definitely animals and people, 50 feet. It's like cops will be like, hey, stop, Rick! And they just die. And like,
I have like such vague memories. I can't tell you when I'm going to look up when I actually watched that real quick. Why? You just mad because I've seen a movie?
Yeah, because not just because it's a movie, it's because it's like the most random garbage movie. And it's like, why?
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. It came out in 2017. I must have watched it in 2017. February 2018. I don't know why. Okay. I don't know how I stumbled across it. I have no clue.
I mean, you must have been just doing what I was doing.
Probably, yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I'll watch this movie. I'll talk about it on the podcast. Nope, Todd's already seen it.
I mean, I don't remember. You can talk about it. Go for it. I'm surprised.
It's fine. It's got some twists and stuff in there, which is nice. It's got some good stuff. It's got some bad stuff. It's a very mixed bag.
Okay.
But I like concept movies. It's definitely a concept movie.
Yeah, I haven't seen something like that.
It feels like a movie we would have watched in like 2013 at 2 a.m.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
It's just like,
it's like, ooh, that's a unique concept. Yeah. Let's watch it. From what I can remember based off of what you reviewed it and stuff, like it's fine.
You know? Yeah, it's interesting. Like there is some actually interesting stuff in there. Not a lot, but there's some cool stuff. There's moments where like that what he's doing is real, and again he has to like convince people, you know, and they won't believe him, so he has to like come up with ways to prove it, stuff like that. Or he'll be in a situation where he is kind of sort of close to like a lot of people, and you're afraid that any second something could happen or will happen where they all fucking die.
Right.
And it's like, oh my god, oh no, stop,
no. All right, well,
Radius.
Small recommendation for Radius.
And watch out for the sequel, Diameter.
Oh. Circumference.
Yeah. God.
One other thing that needs to be said while it's relevant is there is a trailer released for a movie called either Watchers or The Watchers. I think it's just called Watchers. But it's the directorial debut of M. Night Shyamalan's daughter.
Okay.
Which it looks pretty good. I mean, you can look it up in your own time. But yeah, Ishana Shyamalan, a young artist gets stranded in an extensive, immaculate forest in Western Ireland, where after finding shelter, she becomes trapped alongside three strangers stalked by mysterious creatures each night. So it's like they're in a room and with like a one-way mirror where people could see them on the outside, and it's just they're just living their lives or performing for like something out there, but they like hear all these weird noises, like it's insinuated that's some sort of creature or something. So it seems kind of cosmic horror-y, but it seems very interesting. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like Shyamalan, where it's like, oh, this is kind of a cool concept, but it's going to be really stupid. Those
YouTube videos where it's like, it'll be like 5-minute summaries of movies that like I would never probably watch because they're garbage, but it'll just kind of explain the whole plot in clips and talking of like 5-minute video, 5 minutes long.
Yeah.
And it's like just interesting enough for 5 minutes of time.
Yeah.
It feels like one of those.
Exactly, like a short film concept that then is
this girl was trapped in a room with someone watching her. She did this.
I've seen those plenty of times. Yeah. But from the trailer, it looks at least like it's a good, well shot and everything. From a direction standpoint, seems good. But I always watch all his movies just because they haven't been great in a while. But I gotta see him just for the hopes that he's gonna pull another banger out. Because Split was like decent. That was his best in a while.
He's been doing Old was at least entertaining.
Yeah.
Knock at the Cabin was.
It did some things right, but yeah. He's getting, I mean, whatever. I don't know. I always bring up one, but a new one has entered the chat of weird, just out-of-pocket insults I've received. Yeah, basically just out-of-pocket insults. The first one is, I was at Taco Bell with Wesley, and we were just enjoying ourselves, and the guy comes in, he's just loud, he's just talking to the Taco Bell people, and I start laughing because he's saying some funny shit, and he's like, what are you laughing at, you bottle of ketchup looking ass? And I'm just like, my mind is blown. It's because I always like blush, I'm always red when I'm laughing and stuff, so yeah. But then this one isn't even an insult, it was just so random. But I was with Ashley and I had my socks up, my feet were out, no weird stuff, okay? I know I've talked about feet. No, we were just
Oh, okay.
We're at home.
Okay,
but my
you made
feet
it
were
seem like
out.
you were out and your feet were out.
No.
Like you were out. Okay, continue.
We were together. My feet were out. And she said, my toes look like claymation right now. I don't know.
True.
But I was what? Thank you. I didn't know what to say to that. But I don't know if you've ever looking at your toes. They just kind of look like claymation.
Like, are we talking like
Weirdly
Coraline? Are we talking like...
Yeah, it depends on the movie, whether it's
World?
offensive or a compliment.
Wait,
Claymation could be beautiful.
Well, I guess Coraline's not claymation.
Yeah, just stop motion. But I watched all. I think that's a good behind the scenes of how they made that. Stop motion stresses me out.
True.
The thought of making it, stresses me out. That's so much work. Which I did watch the movie Stop Motion, which is a horror movie that came out, and it was okay. But Stop Motion was fantastic. It had some stop motion in it, and it's really great because it basically follows a mother and daughter who are stop motion animators. I guess they're trying to finish this film. Her mom's like getting sick. She has, I think, arthritis or something where she can't really use her hands anymore. So the daughter has to do it. And she's like a really overbearing mother, like stressing her out, always like nitpicking her and like, no, move it 2 more millimeters, blah, 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 like really on her back. And then the mom gets sick and she's like, wants to complete her movie for her. And things go wild, but like all the horror elements are done through like the stop motion characters that she's messing with, or like they'll be telling a story, but it'll be show it through the stop motion characters, and it gets pretty wild. But it's a weird movie. I don't know how I feel about it, but stop motion was very well done. It had some really cool sequences done with stop motion, or they'd mix, like she's live action, but then there's a stop motion person in the frame with her. It was pretty cool. But we're not stopping this motion. Just taking a brief break. But we'll be back after the break with some Anatomy of the Fall. Of a Fall.
AKA Anatomy D'un Chute.
Yes, oui, oui. We'll be
France.
back. France. It's intermission time!
The interest of mission!
So that means it's time for another, obviously, very real, very true sponsor.
The biggest,
Obviously.
the realest. I think this might be our biggest, extremely real sponsor yet.
What?
To tie it back a little bit, we talked about it a little bit today, and it controls our lives to a degree. Our sponsor is Sony.
Sony.
Yeah.
Dang. Okay, they got the big bucks.
I have a Sony TV. We have a Sony camera in here. We talked about a Sony movie today, Madam Web.
Yeah.
Sony's got the good stuff.
Okay.
Also, the Sony has a theme song. It's weird. It's pretty cool. It's only in Japan that they have this theme song. The theme song, it goes like this.
My name's Tyler, and his name's Tony. We're sitting here, and we're sponsored by Sony.
It's real. It's not phony. We're here with the big man Sony.
They're giving us the money while we're being funny. Their movies, their games, and everything in between. It's Sony. Thank you for your money.
It's weird that their theme song's just about us.
Yeah.
And how we're so happy to have their money, but
It's strange.
but in Japanese that actually means something different. So
The
it's a
cultural
translation.
context.
Yeah, it's
makes
a
sense.
mistranslation. It's weird, but
Yeah. Thanks, Sony.
thanks, Sony. We appreciate
Pretty
it. Yeah. Use code off angle on the Sony website.
Are we like the good, like, because Sony makes bad film stuff and good film stuff? Are we on the good side or the bad side?
They already know the answer.
Okay, yeah, it's kind of.
We don't even gotta say, man.
You already know,
You
baby.
already
You
know.
already know. Thanks, Sony.
Thanks, Sony. Let's get back to it, baby.
Welcome back.
Welcome,
Becky's.
front.
Not enough people welcome the front.
Yep.
So welcome front, welcome back,
Yeah, but if
welcome
you
sides.
welcome back, you would have to be walking
backwards.
through a door, and then it's like welcome,
Welcome back.
That's
Yeah,
weird.
that
You're
is
probably
strange.
walking forwards.
More often than not, I am entering the room forward.
Right.
Very weird.
Weird stuff.
Welcome, fronts. Thank you for being here. It's Backies with the Snackies.
Backies with the Snackies.
We've known some people named Jackies. We've known a couple Jackies.
Crackers with the Snackers.
Are we the crackers?
Maybe we're the Snackers.
Okay.
And we're eating crackers.
All right.
The world may never know.
What do you got for us today, Tony?
Today, from Spain,
Okay.
we have fried egg chips.
Okay. Acho. Achu.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Hopefully they don't taste like a sneeze.
What does a sneeze taste like? Smell like breakfast?
Smells like chips.
Okay.
Here, Tyler, take some chips. All right, you ready?
Oh, yeah. They do taste like eggs.
That's weird.
They taste just like fried eggs. Wow. I love that. That's one of my favorite. It's like when you make a fried egg and you have the white, and it's like kind of like a little burnt. Mm-hmm. It's like exactly this.
It's simultaneously very strong and very not strong. It's almost like a fried egg taste. It's already very similar to a potato chip taste.
Yeah.
It's like I didn't realize how close they were, but they're very close.
Yeah. I really like that though. That's great. That's great. That's my favorite. I love that. I really like it.
But do you like patatas fritas sabor a huevo frito?
That's arguably my favorite thing. Yeah. I'm the number one stan of what you just said.
I approve. Should we eat it or should we beat it?
Both. I mean, I like you beat it like an egg because you beat eggs and then eat it. But no, I'd eat it.
Okay. Well, should we try it or should we fry it?
See, it's again, you fry eggs too. Damn. What if you...
Should we snack it or should we crack it?
Oh.
Every verb you can do to an egg.
Yeah. Anyway. Gets my burp of approval. Excellent. But we both watched Anatomy of a Fall.
I watched it twice.
It is a woman is suspected of murder after her husband's death. Their half-blind son faces a moral dilemma as the main witness. So it's mostly or like 50-50 between like a courtroom drama and just like investigating the crime scene and like talking with the fans. It's very much about the family dynamic or what's left of the family after this event and then following the trial in court as well. And it is a French movie, so...
Basically, all you need to know is that within the first 5 minutes, you will hear a steel drum cover of 50 Cent's hit song PIMP for like 10 minutes straight.
Yes. Not my first guess for the needle drop that was going to be featured in this movie. No, it's legitimate.
It happens.
It actually happens.
And when I played it, it was really good immersion because I had my TV pretty loud, and then it started playing, and it's supposed to be annoyingly loud in the movie, and it was annoyingly loud. I was like,
you really felt
stop.
You were getting annoyed with her. Please turn it off.
Yeah,
because it's like while she's being interviewed, right?
She's interviewing some I don't know,
some sort of something like that.
Yeah, they're doing some stuff.
Oh my god.
Which is weird. It's a French movie. Why we have American?
They eat that shit up.
Which I made a connection, by the way.
Okay.
I think the father figure just really likes rap music, American rap music. They have a dog. What's the dog's name?
Can't remember.
Snoop.
Oh, Snoop Dogg.
It could be like Snoopy, but I think it's.
Yeah, it's gotta be
Snoop Dogg, baby. And
it's gotta be.
And he's got that. And I think he made one other reference to some rap.
Probably. I mean, that would make sense.
But yeah.
Especially if he's cranking it that loud.
A little character tidbit that they don't specifically say, but it's like, little stuff like that.
That's filmmaking. They don't need to shove that. Hey, my husband likes rap music, American rap music. No, they let you find that out on your own.
I like sprinkles, baby.
Well, you've seen it twice. I don't remember. I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to figure out how I feel about it. So since you've seen it twice, what are your thoughts on it?
My thoughts are it's a little slow It's a little boring, not that much happens, but it's really good and it's solid and it's prompts thought and discussion, and there's really good acting in there, especially from the kid who is the smartest, most mature, and probably best actor out of all of them.
Yeah, those are my takeaways. Is that I remember I kind of watched it in 2 chunks because just the timing of it. I had to pause it and come back for the second half of it, which I don't normally do, but it's just the way it worked out. But I do remember it feeling a little slow, and probably because I had a split in the middle added to that. But once you really get into them, like really digging into it, it gets better. And then I felt like the boy was, and they were all great actors, but the boy was somehow above all of them, and he's like a child. He's a child actor.
So good.
And I was very impressed by his acting, everybody's acting. But yeah. And then obviously the main woman, which I should probably just have their names up because I'm not going to know them. Sandra Voiter?
Yeah.
Or no.
Sandra?
Which one's
who?
I'm trying to figure out which one is their actual name and which one's their character. Her name is Sandra in the movie and in real life.
Okay.
So Sandra Hewler. It's got accents. I don't know. But Sandra, she was great. She's just nominated, and also she's also in The Zone of Interest, which we have not seen. But so she's in 2 Best Picture nominees, which is insane, as the lead actress. So shout out to her. She was very good. Especially, I think it helped because since I've never seen her before, I don't attach her to anything. Like all she is this character to me. So it was very believable.
Yep.
And all the performances were just seemed real. I don't know any of these characters that this is what it is. This is who these people are. This is the event that is transpiring. But yeah, he did fantastic. She did fantastic. What do you think of the French legal system?
Pretty wacky.
Yeah.
They got some weird suits and stuff in there doing their thing.
He was also at least the main person, like, interrogating her is very, very aggressive.
Yeah, which it's weird because I feel like it was cool kind of seeing it sort of from a different angle. Like, if there was somebody, if it was framed differently and it was like pretty obvious that this person killed the person, it's like kind of be on the side of the dude, or sort of. It'd be like,
screw her. Like, she's a murderer.
Yeah. But when there's this very strong who knows. Also, the legal system, it was very just kind of chill. They don't have to like have questioning witnesses. It was just like she could be sitting and just start talking like you will be doing it, and she'd be like, no, actually that's not true, or this. Like,
there wasn't much like objection. No, you can't.
There was
talk.
objections, but like you can't just start talking in a normal court case. You can't just have like somebody sitting on the side.
It's just these 2 people. That's it. Yeah. And then next person, you 2.
Yeah.
But was more casual.
And you do the cross examination, and it's very structured. This is more just like we're gonna talk it out, baby.
Yeah.
We're gonna chat.
Overall, I did enjoy it. As I said, as it went on, I found myself becoming more invested in it, and because we'll talk spoilers obviously when we get there, but it is interesting to weigh in and feel like, where did you land on the decision of did this happen? What actually transpired? But overall, enjoyable. Can be a little slow, but again, performances, everything's fantastic. What would you give for a rating?
I don't remember. I think I gave it an 8.
I think originally I put it at a 7, but now that it's like as a movie, I can respect it enough that I think it deserves an 8 for sure.
If it wasn't for the kid being so good, it would be.
His performance definitely could make or break that film because it does rely a lot on him.
So good.
His reactions, his just everything, relying 50% of the power of the movie on a child. Could have completely tanked the film if it was a bad
If they would have used a different song for the steel drum cover.
Or even not steel drums, if they use a different instrument. Even.
Yeah, true. If they
would have affected everything.
Kalimba or something.
If they use a kalimba, he probably would have. Like I would have killed him.
Exactly. True.
So steel drum was the way to go. There's so many decisions like that. Just really brought it together.
And that's why it's an 8, baby.
Yeah. Every piece so meticulously put together here. Beautiful. But yeah, so recommend it. We'll move into spoilers for Anatomy of a Fall.
Spoilers! Anatomy of a Fall. Spoiler! I need to go back again. I watched it twice, but I forgot to check again the second time. At the title screen for when I watched it, the background, there was a picture that was like 160p. It was like a super low quality image. I don't know if it was just my stream was bad, but the title was crisp looking. I don't know. It was weird. I need to look at it again.
Probably not. Because I feel like the title, like usually text becomes really pixelated if your stream's bad. So I don't know.
It was like a picture of the kid playing piano, but it was like super bad quality in the background. Why?
Okay.
Why?
I do like, because it kind of, I don't know if it's the same song each time, but anytime the song he does play on piano comes around, it's very like tense. It's, it's very fast paced piano.
Yeah, but he messes up too, which is cool.
Yeah. But it's just like, ooh, it stresses me out. That song stresses me out because it's just weird and quick. And I think when I started watching it originally, I was making dinner. So I was like only half paying attention. And it wasn't until it was probably a solid like 15, 20 minutes in before I realized he was blind or mostly blind when they like really focused on his eyes. Like I wasn't paying enough attention. I was like, oh, that makes this way different if he didn't actually see anything that was happening. So took me a while, longer than it should have to realize
Tyler, you're the worst type of what the fuck. You're everything I hate about movie watchers, about showing movies to people and what the half watching, not paying attention, watch half and then the second half.
I did not give this movie the attention it deserved. Usually I'm not like this, I swear, but yeah, I don't know. Well, it's because I watched it before we even planned to do an episode about it, but I guess I should have put more effort because it was Best Picture. I figured we would talk about it. It was just something I was going to casually watch anyway, but that is on me.
Yeah,
I'm a professional critic, movie reviewer. This is my job. I need to take this seriously, damn it. Which let me say on the opposite, in the complete opposite of what I just said. Let me make a statement of like we're just having fun here. Our opinions mean nothing. We're just chilling. We're just discussing movies, having a good time. Okay?
I'm not having fun.
Well,
this is
trying to have fun.
This is surgical, analytical only.
Yes, you are right. Obviously, the top 3 performances are the kid, the dog, and then the mom.
Yes. And the guy who dies because he's dead.
Yeah. He actually died for his role, the movie.
Yeah.
But then he came back for like later because it was shot chronologically. So I thought that was pretty crazy that he came back. They resuscitated him for the second half of the movie. It's pretty insane.
Yeah.
So shout out to him. Was there any specific scenes you want to discuss? Because I feel like the ending and the overall thing is kind of the main talking point.
I have to say first of all, the dog thing that the kid did with the dog, that was stupid. Also, the lady that was... The court said, hey, lady, you have to go stay with the kid so that he isn't... So basically, we haven't really mentioned the whole time. The movie is all about, did this lady kill her husband?
Right.
We're in a court case for did she kill him? We as an audience do not know if she killed him, right?
Yeah.
The kid does not know if she killed him.
Yeah.
So he's trying to make up his own mind. So the courts send a woman home with the kid, says, hey, it's your job to make sure the kid does not get,
like nobody is interfering,
pressuring
or like changing
him
his mind, or
saying anything to him, basically. So that's her whole job, and she's fucking horrible.
Yeah,
she is stupid. What are you doing, lady? The kid's like, hey, so did my mom do it? And she's like, well, you just have to decide. Like, she starts telling him all this psychological stuff. I'm like, no, your whole job is to make sure nobody talks about the case with him. You don't talk about the case with him. It's literally the exact opposite.
All you're there to
job.
do
Yeah,
is make sure he doesn't talk about the case.
But he's like, please. She doesn't.
Okay,
like, bro, it's your whole job. Sorry, you can't. That's your whole fucking job. So anyway, that was a thing. Also, I was curious the whole time of if the kid was actually blind or not. It's like, maybe he's not actually blind. And they showed that he's not fully blind. Mm-hmm. He's just mostly blind.
Yeah.
Because he had like the box of medicine that he was like reading it by putting it really close to his eyes.
Yeah. I think it's just, it's got to be real close. Like, otherwise, there's kind of shapes and colors.
I was like, what?
Yeah, everybody's just like an unreliable narrator in this point because everybody's got some sort of reason
and also,
for why they
I wanted to mention that the thing with the different tapes textures, that was cool.
Oh, yeah.
It was a cool idea.
Very interesting.
It's cool narratively and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know any blind people, but that does make sense.
Yeah.
To like keep track of where you are, you put some sort of physical...
I would say most blind people don't need to do that. Maybe if they're kids, it might help. But
yeah.
like, I would say most blind people are probably just know their shit.
Right. Well, because also he wasn't born blind. It was
right.
like
It was
somewhat
pretty
of a
recent.
reason. So it's like we gotta help adapt
For sure.
to being newly blind.
For sure.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool. But anyway, so the whole movie was just kind of like a really nice little character study of everybody involved. And it was very realistic. And people had emotions, and they were realistic. And people had reactions, and they were realistic. Yeah.
The murder, or potential murder, like you genuinely don't know. Even by the end, you don't know if it actually happened or not for sure. But
I do.
Well, yeah. But the normies don't. Okay. We figured it out, obviously. But that itself is almost the least interesting part. It's like everything around it and like the relationships between everybody, the relationship with the husband and why this might have happened, or like the potential motive, and then obviously the son and his reaction to everything and how he's piecing things together, and how he's almost, for one reason or another, like has forgotten some of these things. Like he'll bring up something, it's like, why didn't you tell us that before? And he's like, oh, I forgot, or you know, I didn't remember, or no, actually I was here when this happened. I said I was there. I meant to say I was here.
Which is realistic. Cause that's how memory be.
Yeah, so just everything seems...
Especially if you're a kid and blind. It makes it harder.
Yeah, what the heck? You didn't know where you were, kid? Yeah. Come on.
That was stupid how hard they were grilling him. Like, you said you were here? You were actually 5 feet halfway through the door.
You blind child.
Yeah, it's not like he was, across the world. Like, what? He was 5 feet away. This whole hearing this, hearing that was so stupid.
I don't think I've seen too many courtroom dramas specifically, but I do like murder mystery thing, piecing things together, especially if they're open-ended. I like when it's left up to your interpretation because there was no concrete evidence one way or another. Like this is...
Except for the ones that I found,
Well, yeah.
In my investigation.
Of course. Well, in your investigation, what did you determine then, Mr.?
I don't need to tell me first.
I feel like she didn't do it.
Okay. Why is that?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I just feel like her behavior would have been different. I don't know. I feel like she would have cracked under the pressure more or something. But I don't know. Like, there's so much evidence one way or the like. Either one is so believable and makes so much sense. Just given all the backstory they give about the husband and how kind of like had his dreams taken away from him, and like she published that book and everything. Like, there's enough reason for like depression and like for him wanting to do it to himself. That I don't know, as a man, I understand mental health issues. Like, that just seems very plausible. But then, I mean, there's also enough evidence that she would have disliked him enough to do it, whether on purpose or by accident, Yeah. I still think she would have, unless it was an accident, but I don't think she would have purposely, pushed him or something because of, they have a kid and everything. Like, that just seems a little drastic, but what do I know?
Yeah, it could have also been an in-between.
Yeah.
Just
they were arguing and
well, like, because they said, okay, either she hit him with something and he fell,
right,
and hit and then he just rolled over there, or he jumped and hit his head. So what if she did just push him and he did hit his head there? You know what I mean? It was like,
the intention wasn't to kill,
or even if it was to kill him, it was weird how they were like, I'm saying like, oh, he either fell and hit his head on the shed and rolled, or she hit him with something and he didn't hit the shed. She could have pushed him and he hit his head on the shed. Both could happen.
Yeah, that's why it's so. That's why people want to keep talking about it. Because I feel like if they did at the end give it a open shut case, it would have had less impact. Because now we feel like we're on the jury or something. Like we're trying to determine what the best outcome was, what makes most sense, and because the kid also doesn't. I mean, he was even doing his own tests on the dog to prove something he thought was potentially true, But dead dog? Or fake dead dog? Fake sick dog?
Yeah, I thought the dog was dead.
Cool.
I was like, what did you do, bro?
Yeah. But you said it was dumb. You didn't like his decision to do that?
Well, the decision, of course, was stupid, but he's a kid. We allow that. But the test itself and the things that he... First of all, let me just say, the bitch killed him.
Okay.
And also, I'm lying about it being evidence. As I said, there is evidence on both sides. Okay, it's not real evidence. But I think she probably did it, but also maybe she didn't do it. But I think she did it.
I mean, nobody's going to bust through the door and say, no, you're going to jail. How dare you say that?
Because the test with the thing, he says
Yeah.
Back in the day, he thinks the dog ate the dad's throw up who had taken pills and thrown them up onto the floor, and that made the dog sick for a few days.
Right,
So the dog was sick for days. First of all, how many fucking pills did the guy take to throw them up? The dog eats some of it, but enough for it to still be a noticeable amount on the floor. It's not like the dog ate all of it. And then the dog was sick for days and needed to be taken to the vet after, whereas this time, he had it all straight into him, not mostly dissolved pills, as she described them when you threw them up.
Yeah.
Right? And then he was fine in a day. That's number one. Number two, he said that this time, the dog smelled the same as he did the last time. But why would a dog's vomit and an adult human's vomit who had been drinking a bunch of alcohol should not smell the same? And he should have a very strong sense of smell because he's blind, right? It shouldn't smell the same.
He's newly blind. He hasn't adapted the super sense of smell yet.
The two options at the time were either that the dog was vomiting or that he ate the dad's vomit.
Yeah.
But he did vomit this time. He should smell different. He should not smell the same. If he smells the same, then your theory's fucking wrong, brother. But he took it as,
I'm gonna need vomit samples.
He smells like vomit. If you've been drinking a bunch of alcohol and you vomit, it's gonna smell like alcohol.
Right.
It's different from a dog who's been eating dog food all day. It's gonna smell like dog.
We don't know what the dad's diet is, or maybe the dog drinks too.
I guess. But anyway, so that's number one. Number two, after he's doing all this shit, and we know that this kid's very insightful. He's very understanding of his emotions and everything that's happening, and he's more insightful about the situation than anybody. And what's the conclusion he comes to with the help of the lady? The conclusion is, I need to kind of decide for myself and kind of run with it. Yeah. And we have shown this kid to be an unreliable narrator in plenty of ways. His test was bullshit, et cetera, et cetera. He's lied to people a bunch of times. Sometimes we don't know if it's a lie. Sometimes we know it's a lie. Mm-hmm. I think he went in there and he protected his mom at the end of the day.
Yeah, I did get that sense too.
When he tells the court that he wants to testify, the mom, when she hears this and she leaves, she starts crying. Is it just because the situation is hard and it's all emotionally taxing?
Yeah,
that would be understanding. But she hasn't cried the whole time, really. She says, like, oh, I'm tired of crying. We never see her crying until that moment when she's like, I think she's worried about what the son is going to say. Did the son actually hear something or see something and he's going to tell? Mm-hmm. Why else should she be crying and scared? It wasn't a happy crying. It wasn't like, oh my God, my son's going to protect me because he loves me. It's like she's worried.
I think I just need to rewatch it. I think that makes sense.
And also the end of the movie.
What?
The end of the movie.
Yeah.
The dog comes back to her. The dog leaves the kid who's supposed to be the main protector of the kid. The dog comes to her. What is that representative of? What is that representative? That she is the mastermind that successfully indirectly influenced her son, who is at the end of the day just going to follow her around no matter what happens. She is the true master of the not only the dog but the household. Everything is by her design. Also, who fucking kills himself while a steel drum cover of the IMP is playing?
The nail in the coffin.
Who hears it and is like, I'm jumping now.
This is the soundtrack to my death.
He's not going to pause it and then jump out.
At least fuck the music, man. No, that's true. Because, she definitely had a lot of discrepancies in her story, or things that just didn't make sense. Like her trying to sleep while the music's blasting, or work while the music's blasting, and which, I mean, maybe what she says is true, but it does seem a little not very convenient for her to do it that way. But yeah, I do remember having the thought of when the boy is giving his testimony and giving his that story of with his dad in the car and all that it was maybe not, I don't know if he fabricated it or not, but definitely just to protect his mom. I think he just made a decision. He doesn't even care if she did it or not. He just doesn't want to lose her too.
And that's the other thing I wanted to mention is that it shows kind of a flashback for that scene of his dad in the car talking.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that it happened, because earlier in the movie, which showed a flashback of both her killing him and him killing himself.
Yeah, it's just
so it showed both.
Whatever.
So it's not necessarily that flashback doesn't mean it happened.
Right.
It's just showing us a visualization of what could have maybe happened.
But yeah, I do think there's more of that, just trying to protect my mother, because he doesn't want to lose both kind of mentality.
Which that was the decision of, do I lose both parents or do I lose one?
Right. And I mean, he's heard, the relationship his mom and dad had behind the scenes, and it's maybe he gets it or feels bad or something. It's this is the best case scenario I can make for myself, I guess. So let's get her out of this.
At the same time, as you kind of mentioned, everything that she says, though, absent of any evidence, is totally relatable. Maybe they actually didn't fight all that much, and maybe they actually, you know, there was all this context that we didn't know about, and just the worst time happened to be recorded right before something happened, which would make sense, you know?
Yeah.
All this other stuff. Like, she, you know, had excuses for everything. If I was in a similar situation and somebody close to me died and we, like, had fought the day before, I would probably not lie about it, but I probably wouldn't bring it up, you know what I mean? Or, like, I don't know, I would at least have an internal struggle about it of, like, do I bring it up? That makes me look bad, blah, 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 whatever.
Yeah.
So.
Because if, you did happen to get in a fight with somebody right before they had died, and that's, like, the only time that's really hardcore documented.
Yeah.
It's not like you could just be like, well, I promise every other time we never fought, everything was good. Every other time that wasn't recorded. Mm-hmm. Like, even if that's true, it's impossible to prove. Right. So you just seem guilty when there is evidence kind of stacked against you.
Right. Because if the person then, I mean, it could be a reason that person killed himself because it was a very upsetting, horrible day, you know?
Yeah.
Could go either way.
It's just the last straw. Yeah. Well, that's why it's so good. It's still ambiguous, but if anyone argued one way or another, I wouldn't disagree, but I would. It's fun. It's fun to discuss and be like, well, oh wait, but that thing. No, you can flip back and forth. It's great.
Yeah, at the end of the day, there's no evidence. It's intentionally, completely could go either way.
Yeah,
that's the whole idea. But at the end of the day, I'm glad she was not guilty because it reminded me of that movie 12 Angry Men. Of like, you know, it doesn't matter whether she did it or not. It matters if there is a reasonable doubt, which there was.
Right.
There's reasonable doubt whether she did it or not. Therefore, she's not guilty. Unfortunately, sorry. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Even if you think she did it, which I think probably I'm 5 to 10% more likely that she did it, but still, she shouldn't go to jail for it.
Yeah, I think I'm flipping more towards that way. I think after a rewatch, I would definitely lean more that way. Now that I know how it all plays out and I can actually read into all the scenes more.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It doesn't necessarily mean that she did it, but it's just feel like all the biases are in her favor. The bias of the kid and the situation.
Yeah.
And
if it's not obvious enough, like it's almost easier to go with the she's innocent route from the court's perspective, at least, and believe the kid and what he's saying.
Yeah. I mean, because I've seen
know the
court
truth.
cases that are way more obvious that somebody killed somebody and they still get off. Just like...
If this was in the American justice system, I don't know how this movie would have played out, but
it's vague enough where I'm not mad about it, like I said, because there is a world where she did do it and everything just kind of lined up to be bad, and it makes sense. Because also, if she killed him, what the fuck? Why would you leave him on the floor for the blind kid to come see? That's fucked up. She did seem to care about the kid, so it's hard to believe that she would do that to her own kid, etc.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know how I would react if whether it was intentional or not, I killed somebody, and I'm just like, oh God, what do I just go to sleep? Like, what do I do? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But it makes more sense to me than the music going, her being angry, going up there, pushing him or whatever.
Yeah.
It makes more sense to me than, like we said, they go up and have some weird conversation while the music is still playing.
Yeah.
Which makes no fucking sense. Then she goes to sleep. Then he goes up and kills himself.
Yeah.
Like, what? That's just weird. Could have happened. That seems weird to me.
Well, definitely. I mean, hopefully, if you listen to spoilers, you've watched it. But if not, watch it.
Especially
so you can weigh in on
that's
the
a horrible way to
opinions.
kill yourself. Also, it's like
true. There's better ways he could have done it.
It's only the third floor. It's like into snow and stuff.
If he didn't hit the shed,
it would be fine.
Probably just would have broken something.
But if you're pushing somebody, you're not really thinking about that. You're just pushing them. So that's why I feel. Yeah. Like, but if you kill yourself with the jump out the third floor window.
That's pretty hard. Good evidence too. Is this really the best method? But that's the anatomy of that fall.
But if she was telling the truth, then he was pretty bad at killing himself. He was just a failure at that too.
Just another thing to add to the list. This guy sucks at everything, even killing himself. I mean, if the pills were true, he tried to do it before he sucked in too.
Yep.
Dog was almost better than him at it.
True.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
But a solid movie. It's definitely something I want to revisit. I think it would more solidify the 8, but probably increase my overall appreciation for the film.
Yeah.
Anatomy, don't shoot. Any general recommendations for people?
Not really. There's more things that I want to talk about with you next time that I want to get into right now. Watch Radius, I guess. It was pretty good, but also not that good. Check it out.
I got some things. First, I watched The Iron Claw. I would recommend The Iron Claw if you haven't seen it already. I mean, it's definitely a tough movie, but it's good. It's enjoyable. Shocked it didn't get any nominations whatsoever. Should have gotten something, but good movie. I also, more so for us, which you might have seen me watch them. They're not great, but I, again, always get excited about anything that's going to keep on releasing more movies, even if they're garbage. And so there's another found footage. Going to be a series. Going to be a third one coming. Horror in the High Desert, which is fine. But
insert the clip of like 3 podcasts ago. Tyler's like, I'm not really a horror guy.
But found footage. Well, I've been watching almost nothing but horror lately.
Oh, horror.
Lately?
Everything.
Yeah. It's because that's what mostly has made it onto my thing that I need to watch. So that's what I watched. Because, I've watched The Babadook. I've watched It Lives Inside, The Outwaters, The Empty Man, When Evil Lurks, Haunt, Horror in the High Desert 1 and 2, Stop Motion, The Lot.
Every single horror movie that comes out, you're like, oh, bro, that's going on the list.
Because I think it's because I don't have too many. When people ask, like, oh, what's a horror movie you recommend? And I rarely have recommended. I'm like, I need to watch more. I want more. Because I do because horror is a very creative genre. So I want to consume more of them.
Sure.
So I'm trying. Only a few have stood out lately. And then a game recommendation. I'm just getting secrets at this point before I do the final part, but just about done with the game Tunic, which came out a couple years ago, and it is very good. I recommend Tunic if you're into like Legend of Zelda style games, puzzle solving games. It is pretty heavy on combat. It's a little hard at times. It's also hard from a like puzzle solving perspective. Some of the things are a little hard to grasp, but if you're into that stuff, it is an enjoyable experience and takes maybe 10 to 15 hours to finish, depending on how quickly you can solve things, piece things together. But yeah, enjoyable game. I like sometimes where you do like get new weapons and like things like that, but some of the unlocks is just knowledge. Like you could have like with Outer Wilds stuff, you could have done this if you just knew how to do it. And so you learn this new thing and then it completely recontextualizes things you've seen throughout the game. True. Tunic.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, I also finished Mission Impossible movies. Watch those, I guess.
Yeah. So which one was your favorite out of what you saw? I know you still like the first one a lot.
Yeah, I like the first one. Other than that, I don't know. One of the last two, Fallout or I don't know. Yeah, they're all right. They're something.
Yeah, I mean they're just whatever.
They're not as good as I thought they would be, but are also sometimes in small moments more interesting.
Yeah, they do some cool stuff.
But I gotta say, I remember last time when I was talking about this, I was like, man, Tom Cruise always be getting a different bitch every movie.
You were only like halfway through, and it keeps going.
I don't know the reason. I watched the last one. The last one, they were like, remember that one girl who we've been building up for 3 movies? No, we're trying to kill her, and there's a new girl.
Yeah, I don't know.
Why?
I don't know if it's like the actresses, go on to, they're not available. Like, I don't know the reasoning behind. There's got to be a reason. They can't think this is good for the story to keep giving him new women every time. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. I think it's at least like 4 or 5 people.
I think they keep giving him the same age woman since the first one too. It's always the same age. They're always like, whatever, late 20s.
Just have him be single at this point. Don't give him a woman. It's fine. He doesn't need to have a love interest or a wife or a girlfriend. Still bringing
back his wife barely since the 3rd movie. We're on the 7th movie now, and Jesus.
Yep.
Anyway, it's fine. I'll watch the last one, or if it's the last one, probably not. And maybe it'll be good.
Well, it's my turn to recommend a movie, and I know we want to continue the Oscar nominees, and we were gonna we missed it because things happened. We were gonna do Zone of Interest, but given that we've gotten pushed back, I don't think there's a world in which we don't discuss Dune Part 2 next week, unless you can't make it to a theater.
I'll make it
because it's coming out, I think, tomorrow. There's some crazy things people are saying. That's like the greatest sci-fi movie. Saying like the villain in it is the best since the Heath Ledger Joker and the dude from what's that movie?
The big fat guy from John Wick 4.
No, it's to do with like kind of long hair, and it's like an older movie. It's like a
Fudge movie. Oh, are you thinking what about No Country for Old Men?
Yes.
Anton Chigurh?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Holy shit.
But yeah, they're saying he's the best like villain, on-screen villain since Heath Ledger Joker and him. And No Country for Old Men.
Okay.
I don't know. And I know because we saw Dune on a whim in the Dolby theater. So I feel like we got to do it again. Of course, if we can do it together, awesome. So Dune Part 2, because I want to see it. I'm going to see it. We're going to want to talk about it probably. I need to rewatch the first one probably, but Dune Part 2, I'm going to get me one of the popcorn buckets. Have you seen the popcorn buckets?
For Dune? Oh, yeah.
All right, just checking.
Memes about them.
Just checking, baby. I'm going to get me one of them.
They have them at
I don't know. I don't know where you get them, but Dune Part 2.
Seems like a very inefficient, whatever.
Well, the first half of the episode we'll be talking about the popcorn bucket.
Yeah.
Second half about the movie, but yeah.
You should also try to watch Society of the Snow because it is nominated for Best Foreign Feature.
Okay.
It's on Netflix.
Okay.
Easy to watch, both physically and emotionally. It's very good. We'll talk about it next time, whether you watch it or not.
All right.
Society of the Snow.
Society of the Snow and Dune Part 2 for next week, baby. Watch them or don't. It's whatever. But that's it, baby. That's been Off Angle. We appreciate it. If you're hearing this, watching this, freaking
smash that bell!
Do something.
Smash that bell!
React. Leave a comment. Somebody leave a comment. Mikey left a comment.
What did he say?
He commented because I mentioned Power Stone. He was like, Power Stone is a gem, literally. And I'm like, fellow Power Stone enjoyer. Thank you, Mikey. Leave a comment, people. Something. Come on.
He's the best.
If we can improve anything, movie recommendation, and literally anything. If you're unsatisfied with our performances here on this podcast, let us know so we can be better. Or worse. Maybe we're too good.
Yeah.
Guys, can you you're too funny. Stop. One less joke per episode, please. That's all. We'll take any feedback, criticism. Unless it's about Tony, like he said. He doesn't like to be criticized, but.
It's not that I don't like to be criticized. It's that I'm incapable of
right. There is no criticism that would be valid against him. So, but that's it. We'll see you next week or whenever. We'll see you.
Did a double salute? It's better like this.
Okay. Cross.
Hiya! See ya! See ya!
Thank you so much for listening. Off Angle is once again brought to you by me and Tony. The music track in the background was created by Tony, as well as random sounds that came out of my mouth upon request. We can be found on all social medias at Off Angle Pod, and also be sure to leave us a rating on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We'd really appreciate it. We'll catch you guys in the next one.